Setting the stage, a night at the tomb. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of old brick and secrets. Moonlight painted the New Orleans night in shades of gray and black. Shadows danced around weathered tombs, whispering tales of lives long gone. We stood before a crypt more famous than the rest, marked with 3 X's. This was no ordinary grave. This was the resting place of Marie Laveau, the voodoo queen of New Orleans. Legends clung to this tomb like Spanish moss, tales of her powers, her potions, her connection to the spirit world. Tonight we weren't here to just whisper at her tomb. We were here to learn, to journey through time and uncover the secrets of hoodoo, a spiritual tradition as rich and mysterious as New Orleans itself. And as the moon climbed higher, casting an ethereal glow on the weathered stone, we knew we weren't alone. Whispers from the past, meet our guides. From the depths of the tomb, a soft light emerged. It swirled and pulsed, growing brighter until it took the shape of a woman. Tall and regal, she moved with a quiet grace, her eyes twinkling with ancient wisdom. This was Mama Marie, the ghost of Marie Laveau herself, ready to guide us on our journey. But Mama Marie wasn't alone. Fluttering around her like fireflies in the night were a group of eager fairies. These were the spirits of stories, eager to share the magic and wisdom passed down through generations. Together, Mama Marie and the fairies would be our guides, leading us through the twists and turns of hoodoo's fascinating past. Unveiling the mystery, our hoodoo journey. Tonight, we journey back to the roots of hoodoo. We'll travel across oceans, back to the shores of Africa, where ancient traditions first took hold. We'll follow the path of hoodoo as it crossed the Atlantic, carried by the strength and resilience of enslaved Africans. We'll learn about the herbs and roots, the rituals and spells that formed the foundation of this powerful practice. We'll hear the whispers of ancestors, their stories woven into the fabric of hoodoo. Our journey starts now, here in the heart of New Orleans, under the watchful gaze of Mama Marie. Get ready to listen, to learn, and to discover the magic that waits within the world of hoodoo. African roots, where the magic began. Mama Marie, her voice a soothing melody, began to spin a tale. Long ago in the heart of Africa, life was deeply intertwined with the spirit world, she whispered, her words echoing in the stillness of the night. People lived in harmony with nature, their lives guided by the rhythms of the earth, the cycles of the moon.
They understood the power of plants, the language of animals, the whispers of the wind, Mama Marie continued. They honored their ancestors, seeking wisdom and guidance from those who walked before. The fairies, their light flickering with excitement, danced around us, painting pictures in the air with their luminescent trails. From the sands of the Sahara to the rainforests of the Congo, each tribe, each community had its own unique way of connecting with the divine. These practices, these beliefs, these ways of life formed the foundation of hoodoo, Mama Marie concluded, her gaze meeting ours. The air thrummed with the weight of her words, a reminder of the ancient origins of our journey.
Section 2. The Heart of Hoodoo, Connecting with Nature and Ancestors.
At the heart of hoodoo lies a deep respect for nature.
Herbs, roots, bones, stones all hold a special power, a connection to the spirit world.
Each element carries its own energy, its own magic.
Knowing how to use them, how to combine them, is the key to unlocking their power. But hoodoo is more than just using natural magic. It's about connecting with your ancestors, seeking their wisdom and guidance. Honoring them, calling upon them, is an essential part of hoodoo.
Section 3. A forced journey hoodoo crosses the Atlantic.
The transatlantic slave trade tore millions of Africans from their homes, their families, their traditions. They were forced onto ships, crammed into unimaginable conditions. Many perished on the journey, their spirits lost at sea. But even in the face of such cruelty, the African people held on to their traditions, their beliefs, their connection to the spirit world. They carried their spiritual practices with them, hidden in their hearts, passed down through generations.
Hoodoo, though born of tragedy, would find a way to survive. Section 4. Seeds of Resilience, Hoodoo's Evolution in America.
In America, Hoodoo encountered new cultures, new beliefs, new ways of practicing magic. It adapted, blended, and evolved, incorporating elements of Native American traditions, European folklore, and even Christianity. The lines between these practices blurred, creating a unique and powerful spiritual system that reflected the experiences of African Americans. Hoodoo became a way to heal, to protect, to find love, to seek justice. It was a way for enslaved Africans to reclaim their power, to resist oppression, to hold on to hope in a world that sought to strip them of their dignity. The seeds of Hoodoo, brought from across the ocean, took root in American soil. They flourished in the face of adversity, growing into a vibrant and enduring spiritual tradition.
The fairies, buzzing with anticipation, led us closer to Marie Laveau's tomb. The air thrummed with energy, a palpable reminder of the powerful presence resting within.
Now, we journey to the heart of 19th century New Orleans, Mama Marie announced, her voice echoing with the spirit of the city. A time when Hoodoo flourished, its influence felt in every corner of society. It was here, in this vibrant melting pot of cultures, that Marie Laveau rose to prominence, Mama Marie continued, her eyes twinkling with admiration. A woman of great power, she commanded respect from all walks of life, from the poorest of the poor to the wealthiest of the elite.
They called her the Voodoo Queen, one fairy whispered, its voice hushed with reverence. People flocked to her doorstep, seeking her guidance, her healing touch, her potent charms.
Marie Laveau understood the power of Hoodoo, Mama Marie explained, her voice filled with respect. Her legacy, Mama Marie emphasized, extended far beyond the myths and legends.
One fairy, radiating a warm, earthy glow, fluttered forward.
Hoodoo is a practice deeply rooted in the natural world, it explained, its voice like the rustle of leaves. It recognizes the power within every herb, every root, every stone. Each element possesses a unique vibration, a specific energy that can be harnessed for healing, protection, or to bring about desired change. Another fairy chimed in, tracing patterns in the air with its luminous light. These were the secrets passed down through generations, whispered from practitioner to practitioner.
Marie Laveau was a master herbalist, Mama Marie interjected, her voice laced with pride. She knew the properties of every plant, every flower, every root that grew in the swamps and bayous surrounding New Orleans. Her knowledge, Mama Marie stressed, was both vast and profound.
Now let's talk about Grigri, a mischievous fairy announced, its voice a hushed whisper.
These are charms imbued with intention and power, used for a variety of purposes. The other fairies giggled, their light dancing with excitement. A Grigri can be used for protection, to attract love, to bring good luck, or even to hex an enemy, the fairy continued, its voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. The ingredients vary depending on the desired outcome, but they often include herbs, roots, stones, and other personal items.
And then there's Goofer Dust, another fairy interjected, its light flickering with a hint of mischief. This is a powerful substance, often used in spells and rituals to cause harm or misfortune. But remember, Mama Marie cautioned, her voice firm yet gentle, Hoodoo is about balance. It's about respecting the power of the spirit world and using it wisely. Hoodoo has often been misunderstood, shrouded in mystery and sensationalized in popular culture.
But its true power lies in its ability to connect us to something greater than ourselves.
It's about tapping into the energy of the universe, aligning ourselves with the rhythms of nature, and honoring the wisdom of our ancestors.
Hoodoo, she stressed, was more than just spells and rituals.
It's about resilience, about finding strength in the face of adversity, and about creating positive change in our lives and in the world around us.
The fairies, their light glowing brightly, seemed to radiate with the truth of her words.
Hoodoo teaches us that we all have the power to shape our own destinies.
The air shimmered as the fairies led us through time, away from the gaslights of 19th century New Orleans to a modern cityscape.
Hoodoo, like any living tradition, has evolved with the times.
It has adapted to the changing needs of its practitioners, embracing new influences while staying true to its core principles.
The world is a different place than it was in Marie Laveau's time.
But the core tenets of hoodoo, connecting with nature, honoring ancestors, harnessing spiritual energy, remain as relevant as ever.
Today, you'll find hoodoo practitioners from all walks of life.
Doctors, lawyers, artists, teachers, they all find solace and empowerment in this ancient tradition.
Hoodoo is a path of personal growth and spiritual exploration.
It's about finding your own power, connecting with your own inner wisdom, and creating a life filled with purpose and meaning. The fairies, buzzing with a mix of excitement and caution, gathered close.
Hoodoo's presence in popular culture is a double-edged sword.
On the one hand, it brings awareness to this often misunderstood tradition. On the other hand, it can lead to misrepresentation and exploitation.
Movies and television shows often portray hoodoo through a sensationalized lens, focusing on curses, hexes, and supernatural occurrences.
While these elements exist within the practice, they are only a small part of a much larger and more nuanced spiritual system.
It's important to remember that hoodoo is a lived tradition, practiced by real people with real lives and real struggles.
It's not a source of entertainment or a tool to be used for personal gain. It's a sacred practice that deserves respect and understanding. Section 3. Reclaiming the narrative, hoodoo's resurgence and cultural impact. Despite the challenges of misrepresentation, Mama Marie's voice held a note of hope.
There's a growing movement to reclaim the narrative surrounding hoodoo, she said, her eyes twinkling with admiration. Scholars, practitioners, and artists are working to educate the public and share the authentic beauty and power of this tradition.
Books are being written, documentaries are being filmed, and workshops are being held, all with the goal of shedding light on the true nature of hoodoo. Mama Marie continued, her voice filled with enthusiasm. This resurgence is about taking back the power, celebrating our heritage, and sharing our stories with the world on our own terms.
This is a time of healing, of rediscovery, of reclaiming our voices and sharing our truths, Mama Marie declared, her voice resonating with the strength of generations past. The world is finally ready to listen.
Section 4. Preserving the legacy, a bridge between past and present. As we stood at the threshold of the present, Mama Marie turned to us, her ethereal form radiating warmth and wisdom.
Our journey through hoodoo's history has come to an end, she said, her voice laced with a hint of melancholy. But the story doesn't end here. It's up to each of us to keep the spirit of hoodoo alive.
Learn from the past, honor the ancestors, and embrace the wisdom that hoodoo offers. Share your knowledge, practice with integrity, and never stop exploring this powerful tradition. The faint scent of jasmine lingered in the air, a final whisper of the fairies' magic, as we stood once more before Marie Laveau's tomb.
Yet everything felt different, as if the veil between worlds hadn't quite settled back into place.
Mama Marie's words echoed in the quiet spaces of our hearts. Hoodoo is a living tradition. It wasn't just a collection of stories, rituals, or spells.
It was a vibrant force flowing through generations, connecting us to the past, present, and future.
We had walked in the footsteps of ancestors, felt the pulse of their struggles, and witnessed the resilience of their beliefs.
Hoodoo, we realized, wasn't just about magic. It was about survival, about community, about harnessing the power within to overcome adversity.
As we turned to leave, the weight of countless unseen eyes seemed to rest upon us.
The spirits we had encountered, the stories they had shared, had woven themselves into the fabric of our being.
We carried their wisdom within us, a precious inheritance to guide us on our own paths.
Hoodoo, we learned, wasn't about seeking shortcuts or manipulating the world to bend to our will.
It was about understanding the interconnectedness of all things, honoring the delicate balance of nature, and tapping into the power that resides within each of us.
It was about respecting the wisdom of our elders, listening to the whispers of our ancestors, and recognizing their presence in our lives.
It was about seeking guidance from the spiritual realm, not to escape the challenges of the physical world, but to navigate them with greater strength, wisdom, and compassion.
And perhaps most importantly, hoodoo was about community, about sharing knowledge, supporting one another, and preserving traditions for future generations.
It was a reminder that we are not alone in our struggles, that our ancestors walked before us, and their strength flows through our veins. Mama Marie's final words echoed in our minds, "Keep the flame of hoodoo burning bright." This wasn't merely a poetic farewell. It was a call to action, a responsibility passed down to us, the torchbearers of tradition.
Preserving hoodoo, we understood, wasn't just about memorizing rituals or collecting herbs.
It was about actively engaging with the spirit of the tradition, embodying its principles in our daily lives, and sharing its wisdom with others.
It was about supporting authentic practitioners, seeking out genuine knowledge, and challenging misrepresentations that perpetuate harmful stereotypes.
It was about approaching hoodoo with reverence, respect, and a deep understanding of its cultural significance.
And it was about ensuring that future generations would have the opportunity to connect with this rich heritage, to find solace and strength in its practices, and to carry the torch of hoodoo into the future.
As we walked away from the cemetery, sunlight filtering through the ancient oaks, we carried a newfound appreciation for the hidden world we had glimpsed.
The spirits of Mama Marie and the fairies, though unseen, felt close, their presence a comforting warmth within our hearts.
We had journeyed to the heart of hoodoo, not as passive observers, but as active participants, eager to learn, to grow, and to honor the traditions passed down through generations.
We left with a deeper understanding of ourselves, our history, and the interconnectedness of all things.
And as we stepped back into the bustling streets of New Orleans, the city's vibrant energy seemed to pulse with the spirit of hoodoo. A reminder that magic, resilience, and the enduring power of belief can be found in the most unexpected places.
The journey may be over, but the spirit of hoodoo lived on, within us and all around us.